sector with the best first sector of the day, so he wasn't holding anything back. Andrea crashed at the Cito Ponds corner, turn 5, a relatively routine front end washout. The problem was the minute that he hit the gravel, he really started barrel rolling. It really did shake him up. The main problem, I think, was quite a severe swelling down at the base of his left thumb. He spent a lot of time in the medical centre actually late last night, Andrea DOVIZIOSO. No, well, the x-rays proved that there were no broken bones, but he would have been feeling it a little bit today, but that 1:38.292, still an impressive lap time. We've mentioned it before, Steve, Ducati and the GP19, great straight out of the crate. I mean, that motorcycle just looks, for me now, it's the most complete package in MotoGP. We heard Simon Craper talking earlier on. They're not even having to touch the engine. That thing has just got power to burn. Then they manage that power brilliantly as well. They can just now focus exclusively on other parts of the bikes in terms of the chassis as well. You know, they've always been looking to improve that turning, the mid-corner speed in the middle of the corner. It seems like they've made progress in that area as well. The Ducati now, for me, it's the bike to be on. It's the most rounded package.
And as usual, Matt, Gigi Dall'Igna has got his little magic box of tricks out as well. They've got all sorts going on here for this
well,
test.
yeah, I'm going to have to rename him Inspector Gadget, I think. I mean, yeah, we know that Ducati, they do love to push the technical boundaries. We've seen wings added on to the seat unit. I think Danilo Petrucci, we're looking at right now, he did quite a long wing. You can just see there that revised seat unit as Danilo Petrucci goes through this famous stadium section in Jerez. They've almost like sort of created bolt-on wings, if you like, that fit now onto the seat unit. Ducati are trying various things. I mean, there was a light sensor that came on under the bike in the pit lane. Not quite sure, maybe Simon Crafer can shed some light on that, but I think people are talking about it measures things like wheel spin, you know, traction, how far the bike moves on, or suspension moves when you're braking, weight transfer.
For when you want them, I'll explain about the Ducati stuff. Yeah, Ducati, it seemed to be the people leading the new innovations. You know, they are the ones coming out with the most special and different looking things. Dovi, he didn't do as many laps. You know, he said physically he wasn't held back. You know, lap time wise, I wouldn't read too much into Dovi today. I really just think he was running through what he had to on his test program, and he confirmed at the end of the day with an interview that they weren't choosing engines, and I think they're the only factory that has already made a decision on next year's engine before this test. Everyone else, you can tell they're under big pressure to make a decision.
Simon, we know that you're not the only one that's been impressed by this hot crop of rookies that are moving up to the championship next year. Just looking at the timing screens as it stands right now, and Lorenzo and Marquez together in the same team, Steve, that is going to be such a fascinating aspect of next year's championship. Those two are going to push each other on so much. They are, you know, career-long bitter rivals. It's all amicable right now, but it is going to be an intense rivalry. Marc Marquez actually discussed it yesterday, I think, in Jerez. He said, I don't think it's going to escalate to, you know, the kind of Ayrton Senna, Alain Prost rivalry in Formula One, or, you know, the Rossi Biaggi days, but there's no doubt about it. These two guys, they're only out there for one thing, to win the World Championship and to beat each other. The first person, it's the golden rule of racing, isn't it, Steve? The first person you want to beat is your teammate. Look at Lorenzo on these images now, Steve. He just looks straight away immediately comfortable.
He's still not fully fit.
No, he's still not fully fit as well. But you never saw this. The first couple of tests he had on the Ducati, throughout the first year really on the Ducati, he never looked like this. He never looked as confident and comfortable on the Ducati as what he does right now on this Honda.
There's a lot of people who said that the Honda was going to be too difficult for him to ride.
Well, it is definitely a beast, but obviously he's tamed it already. We know that Honda have been working constantly. Cal Crutchlow's input has helped them, having come off Yamaha and Ducati. A big target, a big goal of Honda over the last couple of years has been to make that motorcycle more user-friendly, a little bit more manageable. Well, it looks like they've done a great job of it so far.
Yeah, well, as we just mentioned, Jorge Lorenzo can't give any comments about the Honda just yet, so you'll have to get yourselves prepared for the views of this man next year when we join you for
definitely engine, and they haven't spent any other time on any other bike, but both riders have rolled out with a different aero package just briefly. Otherwise they've just been going in and out and doing a lot of miles. That's the main things from Honda.
Simon, if we move on to Ducati, but because before Nakagami and Marquez and Lorenzo put in these fantastic lap times, Ducati were looking really strong. We know they've done a lot of intense work today, a lot of laps as well if you look next to their names. Dovizioso, of course, came into today. There was a bit of concern after his crash yesterday. Maybe you could tell us more about that. And Danilo Petrucci, of course, continuing to work. Jack Miller also put in a decent performance before he left.
Super strong.
He's not pushing 100%, but he's still having the odd scare out on circuit, as you're going to be able to see here, just as he tips it into this double apex right-hander here. There you go. Not without its little moments. He does keep the
speed, and I need to, or we need to analyze to understand how to improve, because it was one of the question marks of the problems during all the 2018 year, and also with this new bike we had there the problem because it's the same. So now it's time to analyze and try.
A bit of a sticky situation, aren't they, Yamaha?
Okay, Matt, we're going to stick with Yamaha for now because we're hoping to catch an interview live with Rossi shortly, so we'll just stick with this subject just for now. You're Lynn Jarvis, you're Yamaha right now, Matt. Who's your number one rider? Can Valentino Rossi, if the bike is right, still win a World Championship? Could he win a 10th World Championship? He's going to be 40 at the start of next year. Or do you put all of your eggs in the Viñales side of the basket?
Well, I suppose the argument could be, Steve, you know, Valentino Rossi demonstrated perfectly at the end of the season, Malaysia and in Valencia, rain or shine, the guy has still got the speed. Absolutely no doubt about it. And let's not forget as well, he was the top Yamaha rider in the championship this year. He did beat Maverick in the World Championship. So Valentino Rossi will argue that if you put a motorcycle underneath him that can fight the Hondas and Ducatis week in, week out, he will be there scrapping it out for that 10th world title. Maverick Viñales has got into that Yamaha team, and he can see the power and the influence that Rossi exerts in there. As you'd expect, the guy transferred. Maverick is happy with the bike as it is right now. Of course he wants more, but it's almost like you say, Steve, there's this kind of inter-team power struggle going on. It's almost like Maverick prefers one of these new engines, Rossi prefers the other one, but of course Yamaha, with the strict regulations, no in-season development, you've got to homologate one specification of engine for the team. You can't have both riders on different specs of engines. So it'd be interesting to hear the thoughts actually of Yamaha team manager.
This bike is really smooth, and to be fast, I think you have to be smoother and try to look for flow. And this is what I'm trying to do at the moment, and I'm quite happy about how it went.
And looking forward over the winter, you got a couple of months, a lot of time to train and to think. But when you go to Sepang, what's going to be the biggest thing you look to improve upon on the first day?
Well, it's going to be important to get the mojo back quite quick in Sepang. And
I mentioned earlier to you guys that he went straight out there and was just yesterday banging it on its side, and I was super impressed. And really that comes with confidence in the front, which is rare to see a rookie with confidence like that in the front tyre straight off the bat. And then he had a big crash yesterday, over 200 kilometres an hour, put the bike up over the fence, moved the airbag, so he had to red flag, or the track organiser had to red flag. I thought he would lose confidence. You know, well, I was curious to see if he would lose confidence. First lap back out there a little bit later when he had clean leathers on again, and his second lap, so first flyer, was faster than anything done before. So no chance of losing confidence. Oh, he's impressive. So yeah, exciting stuff with the rookies.
Significant conclusions from that. Do you and Alex agree on which one you guys would prefer to use next year?
Well, the truth is that we don't have the things at the moment really clear. It's not really clear because someone is better in some areas and the other one is better in the other. So we have tried a lot of things to. And we have a lot of good information to send to Japan, and like this they will work.
Just one last question. Over the last two tests, what is the biggest thing you've managed to change in your riding style to adapt to a MotoGP bike?
At the moment, I'm not so bad. Every time I'm improving the riding style, but we are in a moment that we are not really far about this. Of course.
But anyway, I'm happy. I'm satisfied about the work in the box. There is very calm, and all the engineers have the aim to improve and to help me. So this is very good, and I'm happy to see this feeling around me.
It's a very important test to choose the engine direction for next year. Which are your comments so far regarding the engine?
It's good, but I don't think it's the one we will have in the future.
What the differences make, and that's another thing that the Petronas guys have been teaching their riders, running through a lot of different settings so the riders understand what the setting changes do, so when they have a problem they'll have an idea what could fix it. And that brings me on to Quartararo. He's really made a good step over this test. You know, he struggled yesterday, and the team were telling me that it was wheelie and rear grip, and they helped him with electronics for the for both. But he's really learnt how to ride the bike. You know, over this especially this afternoon, he's really come on. And well, Oliveira, you know, he's probably got the toughest job of the rookies because he's jumping onto a more difficult bike to ride. You know, I do feel a bit sorry for him, like the engine
as well. That's what they're lacking at the moment. Not saying that they're lacking riders that are fast, they're lacking riders that are experienced on that KTM package. Pol Espargaro, it was interesting to listen to him yesterday, that they've always got a constant truckload full of new parts, and he said because they're trying to evolve, improve all the time, he can't remember the last time he rode a KTM that was in the same spec. They're throwing new parts to that bike like confetti at a wedding. They'll stumble across something pretty soon. Let's just hope that these first couple of tests have not, you know, sucked out the momentum that they gained with this man's brilliant first ever podium in Valencia just a couple of weeks ago, because, you know, it's been a tough test. Pol Espargaro 15th, over a second off the pace. We can catch up now actually and listen to exactly where KTM feel they're at in terms of their development and how Johan Zarco's adapting to the RC16, with the thoughts of project leader Mike Leitner.
Romano Albithiano, the team manager, can't say enough praise for Brad's work. He's really happy with him. Yeah, when you're two riders are either sick or injured, and you have to make a decision on an engine today. Romano told me they have to make the decision at the end of today. That's not the best way to start, you know. But he did say they're pretty confident on what was the right one. So fingers crossed for them.
Simon, thank